Guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about my review of the ICD-10-CM Expert for Physicians 2023 edition by Optum. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue. I'm a medical coder. Okay, guys. So, first things first. This is not an ad for Optum books, right? All of these books can be found at optumcoding.com, all right? This is not an ad for them, but I will say this. I am a medical coder with over 15 years of experience. And in this time, I have learned about really great tools. And the book that you use has a direct effect on your ability to be able to code things more sharply, have more information that is readily available. There's a lot of benefits to using a book as comprehensive as the Optum book. Not all diagnosis coding books are created equally. There are different publishers when it comes to this book. So everybody's going to have their different things added to it or not added to it. Optum is the only one that I have seen that is very comprehensive, has a lot of great information. And again, the tools that you use have a direct effect on the codes that you're selecting and getting you to get all of the codes that are applicable. All right. That out of the way. I want to say this also. Notice that my book is clean. Clean meaning it does not have any tabs. I am a big advocate for not tabbing your books. Now, before you hyperventilate and say, oh no, Blue, I need to tab my books. I need to write notes. Don't write notes. Don't highlight. Don't tab. I never did. Okay. And I want you guys to be strong medical coders. And before you say, well, Blue, I can be a strong medical coder and not have to go through all that. But here's the thing. When it comes to tabbing your books, the second you really start looking up these codes and you start flipping through all these pages are going to get used up. Okay. And what happens is you're going to end up tearing your book. And if you think, oh, well, I'll just tape it. If you look in the candidate hand guide for AHIMA, the American Health Information Management Association, it says you cannot have tape in your book. And I'm pretty sure AAPC says the same thing as well. You're not allowed to have any taped notes in there. You're not allowed to have any whiteout or anything like that. So that being said, you want to keep these books as clean as possible because, again, you don't need to add anything to this. These books are written by doctors and scholars and other leaders in our industry. So they've thought of everything. All you have to do is learn to use the book. Now, people will tell me, oh no, Blue, I need my notes. This is an open book test, guys. It is an open book test. Therefore, you do not need to add anything to these books. And if you look at the candidate hand guide, if you're taking an AHIMA exam, it says excessive writing is not allowed and that they can stop you from going into the testing center because Pearson VUE, they're going to review and look at your books before you go in there. Now, certain Pearson VUEs are a lot more detailed than others, but they will inspect your books. So you have to know that when you're going in there, these people are going to be looking at your books. They can tell you cannot test. Now, I would hate to lose $300 or $400 depending on how much your test cost. I would hate to lose that money because I excessively wrote in my book. It's not worth it, guys. Just make sure that you are looking at your book the entire way through and you know where everything is. You're not going to need those notes. Trust me, I have taken 3 exams with AHIMA and I've passed them all on the first try. And not only that, I did not have a single note. I did not have a single tab. I did not have a single highlight in my book. What did I do? I practiced. And a lot of you are asking me, what are some quick and easy tips to get through the exam? You have to practice. Practice looking up the codes. Practice going through the book. Look at the whole book before you go into your exam, right? The time that you have that you're studying. Make sure that you are going over this book forwards and backwards because you'll be able to have it in there with you. So don't even worry about all that. All right. Don't even worry about, what do I need to add to it? No, you just have to know how to find the answers. Okay. Now, the other thing before I start opening this book, it says right here, codes are valid from October 1, 2022 through September 30th, 2023. So a lot of people will ask me, well, Blue, I have this 2023 book. Can I still use it for my AHIMA exam? So AHIMA will have the same year. This is a 2023 edition. You can use the current year. In this instance, it's 2023. You can use this all the way until the end of April 2024. All right. So the current year book, you can use it all the way until April of next year, because that's in May is when they roll over to the new exams for AHIMA. So if you have on your test date that you're supposed to have the 2023 editions or whatever year it is, right? Then you make sure that you have the correct year book, okay? Because again, that's another reason why you can't enter the exam room. And I've had people who told me that they had the wrong CPT book and they were not allowed to test, so they lost all that money. You have to know what books that you need, and you can verify that by looking on the website, all right? So when it says here, the codes are valid from October 1, 2022 through September 30th, 2023, that just means that's when those codes are set. The new codes get released every year in October. That's our new year, right? So in October 2023, the 2024 set of codes is going to be out, all right? But again, you can still use this book if you're taking an AHIMA exam all the way until April of 2024, okay? So this book is on the approved list of books that you can use for AHIMA and AAPC as well. You have your choice of publisher. And when it comes to AAPC though, now AAPC, they roll over their new test January 1, 2024. So you will need a 2024 edition if you are taking your exam after January 1, 2024, okay? But here's the thing. They said you can still use a 2023 book into 2024 for AAPC, but you have to know that if your codes are not updated and you're looking for a code and you don't happen to find it, then you do so at your own risk. So you can use an older book like this, a 2023 edition, in 2024 for AAPC. But just know that if there's a new code and you don't see it, then you run that risk of not having the correct code. All right, if you don't use process of elimination and do all that other stuff. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into this book. All right. So I always recommend to make sure that you take the time to go through the whole thing, so that way you know where everything is. You're going to have this book with you when you're taking your exam. Here's a table of contents. It gives you the pages for everything. It tells you how to use the ICD-10-CM Expert for Physicians 2023. It gives you the whole breakdown, all right? And it tells you about all the indexes and everything that's available. Make sure that you look at this, guys. I get questions all the time, really basic, simple questions from folks, and I know they're not looking at their book. I know, because I know exactly where to see that answer that they're asking for right here, guys. And it's very simple. And this tells you about the boldface, the italics, what does it mean, the deleted text, the keywords, the tabular notations, excludes one, excludes two. What does that mean? It's all right here, all right? And it gives you more explanations here. What's new for 2023? This is the whole list of all the new codes, right? There was 1,179 new codes for 2023, which is not unusual, all right? It's a lot. It sounds like a lot, but it's just some of them are more specific, all right? So that's something that you should know, that there's changes every single year when the codes get updated. Here's the deleted codes, 251 deleted codes, 28 revised codes, and it'll list right here exactly what I'm talking about, right? Here's all the deleted ones, okay? Proprietary updates. Then it talks about the conversion table of ICD-10-CM codes. All right, so there's that, and that's the yellow tab. And then here is the 10 steps to correct coding, right? It talks about from step 1 all the way to step 10, how to use the book. So guys, if you're learning on your own and you're having a hard time, this is one of the things that you can look at if you have the Optum book, okay? Again, I don't know of other publishers that have this in their book. Maybe sometimes they do, but a lot of times they will not, okay? And here we go. The ICD-10, 2023 ICD-10-CM official guidelines for coding and reporting. This, when they talk about this is your Bible, oh yeah, this is it. So it breaks down section 1, A, B, C, and then it starts talking about the chapters. It breaks it down by chapter. Again, looking at all of this information right here, because this information should not be neglected. Read it, know it, get familiar with it, all right? Very important information in this area right here, okay? And again, your index of that, here's the official coding guidelines. Now, this is what I tell you guys to read. I did a video on this here a while back. I think I probably need to do another one again. But this is your coding guidelines. And it's about, it says it's 30, what is it, 30? I'm trying not to knock over the camera. Let's see. It is 34 pages, okay? 34 pages, but they're front and back, okay? So 68 pages total. That's just the font size, guys. If you go to the CMS website, now you can Google ICD-10-CM official coding guidelines 2023 CMS, and those that are on CMS will pop up. It's a PDF. All you have to do is just Google that, guys. It's a simple Google search. When you see those, it's going to be like 100. Last time it was 115, but I think it went up to like 120 or 121, something like that. But it's the same guidelines, guys, but the font size is just a little bit bigger online. Okay, so don't panic if you think that those are different guidelines. They're not. They're the exact same guidelines, but they're just a smaller font size here in the book, a larger font size online. All right. Of course, you can always just adjust those. But read these coding guidelines, guys. Let these 68 pages in here be your best friend. And when I'm telling you guys to read them, I literally mean to read them. Because number one, it's going to make you a faster reader. Number two, even though it doesn't make sense, it will make sense once you get into the real world. And when you're in your exam, when you're thinking about, oh my gosh, what about this sequencing here? Or what is the rule about sepsis? Or what is the rule about external causes? If you have been looking at your book, you're going to know right where to go. Okay? Right where to go. And again, trying to set y'all up for success, guys. Take my advice or don't. It's up to you. But I hope that it's going to reach somebody, right? They talk about excludes 1, excludes 2, etiology and manifestation conventions, all right? Breaks that all down, breaks down the general coding guidelines, right? Talks about it all here. And when you talk about knowing what you're doing, this is the start, guys. This is the start. And it looks small. It looks very intimidating. Yes, but break it down. Make it manageable. Do 10 pages at a time. Just read 10 pages, either front and back or 10 pages total, and break it down that way. That way it's not so overwhelming and it's not so just like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Yes, you can. The more you do it, the more you get used to it, trust me, the better off you will be. All right. So it breaks down in chapter-specific coding guidelines. Again, stuff that you really do. Every medical coder should know. All right. Talks about dementia. Talks about chapter 6. Every chapter in here is broken down. So there's all the chapters. It goes on. Let's see. Let me speed this up a little bit. I don't want to run out of time before we get through the whole thing. But yes, that is something that you have to look through. Guys, look through it. Make sure that you know it forward and backwards, okay? You don't have to memorize it, but you do have to understand where to find the things in the book, okay? Here's the index. It's going to start with A, go all the way to Z. So every single diagnosis and external cause and all this other stuff known to man is all going to be in this section right here, okay? Everything that they have a code for currently is going to be in this section right here. Come on. Try not to knock everything over. Well, all right. All this, okay? All this. This is all your index right here. This is all your diagnoses codes, okay? Just take a Saturday, guys, and look through all the diagnoses that are available. Trust me, you don't have to memorize it. Your brain is going to trigger you to say, wait a minute, I saw something like that. I saw an entry for that. Where did I see it? And then that's when it's going to start clicking for you. But you have to go through these simple things in order to get to that place, right? So that's that part. And then here's the neoplasm table, right? Get to it. This is the neoplasm table. All your neoplasms, you find them here, okay? These are all your cancer codes and stuff. So, and it breaks it down. You see the table right there? The malignant primary, malignant secondary, carcinoma in situ, benign, unspecified, or what is it? Uncertain behavior, unspecified. So all of it's there. All of it's there. And all you have to do is just look across there, and then you go back to the tabular section. All right. So there's that. There is, trying to get to this next section. Okay. And then this other section here, can't say it, but it's there. You guys can see it. And then we have more of it, more of the same. And then here we go with our external causes, right? So all of your external cause codes are all here. This is a fun read for a Saturday. When I say read, I mean look at all the diagnoses and everything. Well, all of the external cause and all the things that you can think of that can happen to somebody, it's all right in here. And keep in mind, when they wrote this, they write these things in the external cause section a little weird, okay? So place of occurrence, that's got to be wherever it happened. If the person was in a fight, you are going to look up brawl, okay? I know, it comes up with some weird, just the language of it is just kind of strange sometimes when you think about like the language that we use, but they use a little bit different language here. So a person who's riding a bike is a pedal cycle, right? So again, that's just weird stuff, right? But this is that whole section. And again, it's just an interesting read that you'll find. And it's I think it's one of the more interesting things about being a coder is all the things that we see for external causes, right? Now, here is the tabular section. This has to be my most favoritist feature of this book. At the beginning of every single chapter, you will see this, right? You will see this. So this is an example of the code. Like they give you an example, they give you the code, and then they give you the explanation. What other book does that? I'm just saying, you know? And so this is a great way to practice. You can cover up those answers. You can look up those codes and see how well you're grasping that particular section because it's based on sections. It gives you more information about how to use this particular section of book. And look at this, all these examples. It's just wonderful, guys. It really is. And then when you see this, look, definitions in the book. I know you can't see the particular writing and specifics, but guys, this is just supposed to be an overview anyway. Remember, I'm not that good with this camera stuff. So, but here's all of your sections here. Starts chapter 1, right? And then it starts with all of the diagnoses and everything. It gives you definitions. It does give you tips throughout the book. There are some tips, and you'll see them. It's more definitions right here. But as you go through the book, you'll see those types of things. And you have all kinds of excludes notes here and use additional code. You have to pay attention. That's why they tell you to look it up in the index and reference it in the tabular. Never code from the index, because the tabular is where you're going to find all of your use additional code stuff, notes and things like that. So making sure I'm still good on time. All right. So that's the first chapter, and here's the second chapter, and it goes on through the whole book. Okay. And again, more of the same. So before every chapter, and again, this is just a great way to realize if you're understanding how to apply the codes, how to look up the codes, right? Or if you are finding that you need to do more practicing, that's when you're going to know, okay, well, if I didn't do too good looking up those codes, I know I need to focus a little bit more in that section, okay? That injury section is pretty big. Let's see what else we have back here. And pay attention to these appendixes, guys, because a lot of people neglect these appendixes and then they get completely lost. So again, you don't want to be lost when, there's so much to help you, but you just have to look at the book, okay? Your Z codes, all right? And then here's the appendixes back here. And a lot of people will tell me, Blue, I didn't know that was back there. Guys, again, you got to go through those. And yes, there's a page for notes, but you see mine is clean. And mine's always been clean, even when I took my very first exam. So Appendix A is all the valid 3-character ICD-10-CM codes. All right. There's going to be some that are going to be more than that. But these, if there's only 3 digits, this is your list of okay ones. Appendix B, there you go. All right. And again, lots of really great information in here. It's so comprehensive. That's what I love about Optum. I mean, I can't speak highly of them. I can't, speak more highly of them. That's what I'm trying to say. The long-term use, right? And what it breaks down to. Okay. So that's Appendix C there. Appendix D is Z codes only as a principal or first listed diagnosis. Something that you got to know, guys. There you go. Because there are certain codes that are going to be always sequenced first. And those are going to be those ones listed there. All right. Appendix E is the CMS hierarchical condition category codes. HCC, if you're doing risk adjustment, this is the stuff that you got to know. All right. And all the rules are all right there, front and back. Appendix F is the CMS quality payment program, the QPP, right? All of those rules are here. And then here's some illustrations, guys. All right. Illustrations. Look at this. All this anatomy plates and everything. Okay. That's why I'm telling you guys, you don't have to memorize where everything is, because these books have wonderful illustrations and they're so colorful, guys. Look at that. Look at that. And it's got all the muscles and everything there too. All right. But you still have to know your anatomy, guys. I'm just saying. So, and then here's all the fractures. So it's broken down by chapter. So these illustrations are broken down literally by chapter. Okay. So again, this is a fantastic, phenomenal book. Keep them clean, guys. That's all I ask. You know what I'm saying? I know they're your books and you can do whatever you want to with them. But I'm just saying, make it easy for yourself, right? Just do the practice, do the work, do the heavy lifting. Yes, you can do it. And again, if you get stuck, find a mentor, find a tutor, somebody that can help you and coach you along. Because we've all been there, guys. We all have. And when it comes to learning this, it really does take a village. But it also takes individuals doing their homework and doing their research. And that means you, guys, do your practicing. And, if your teacher is not teaching you, it's not an excuse to give up. It's an excuse to dig your heels in, and you got to try harder for yourself. Okay? Because again, there's a whole new career waiting for you. You just have to get on it. All right, guys. So, with that said, I hope you've enjoyed this. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.